Hello, welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead podcast. We are the Two Chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Erin, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 60. 60. Can't believe we've done this many.
I know. Today is June 7th.
Yep. And we're going to talk about some shenanigans we've been up to.
Yep.
So, we got the garden in.
Yes. Yes, so the garden. I don't know if you've seen my issues with my seedlings this year, but I have started seeds for years, and I don't claim to know what I'm doing. So every year they come up is awesome because I don't do a whole lot with them. But this year, for some reason, I did my usual thing. I used a bunch of different seeds, new seeds, old seeds, and seeds that I have saved for the first time. And none of them came up. So I gave it a few weeks. I did it all again, and a lot of them came up and then decided they didn't want to stay here. So they went on to the next seedling life all on their own. So this was a weird year because I had to go buy all my plants.
Yeah, but I mean, we were good about that, and we bought them all from local companies.
Yeah, we went to just some local sales and just little booths that I know of in town.
Yep, Boy Scouts.
And stuff like that. So at least I kind of helped.
Exactly. I mean, we've done our fair share of killing plants.
Yes.
And it's just reality, and we try things out. We may switch to Miracle Grow for starter next year, or you bought those little...
Yeah, I bought the little discs now. Because I don't know if it was the dirt I got. I mean, I usually just buy the cheapest seed starter dirt. I can find it wherever, Menards, Rural King, wherever we happen to be. Right. And I've never had a problem. So I don't know.
It was a weird year, though, this year. It was. It stayed cold for a little while.
Well, and not even just weather, just everything. This whole winter, last fall, everything just seemed different. Not bad different, just different. And this was like another thing that just seemed different.
Well, you did start some seeds, and you actually got a bunch of stuff out in the garden that you did direct plant.
I did, yeah. So last year, I direct sowed beans, because you normally direct sow beans. And I did 10 little, I usually put 2 beans in each one just because you never know. I got 1 plant last year. So this year, I got one of the big family-sized containers of beans to plant, and I dumped them all in a line. I'm like, if they're not coming up, I'm not going to save these seeds anyway. Yeah. So I'm just using them. Well, they all came up. Yeah. So now we're going to have...
So now we have like a 10-foot row of beans.
So luckily, we use beans.
Yep.
So I'll be busy canning and who knows what.
Hey, that's fine. And the nice thing is we got some peppers popping up too.
We do. So none of the peppers that I was really excited about growing, but they are peppers. We've got some plants out there with like 5 pepperoncinis on there already. One already has it's a purple bell. It's got a pretty nice size
pepper the size on of a quarter.
Yeah. We have one little cherry tomato. Lots
Girls
of flowers.
Haven't stole it yet.
Yeah, well, it's not changed. It's still green. They probably don't even know it's there. But yeah, lots of tomato flowers. The gem corn. I don't know if you remember last season, us having the issue of everyone else being able to grow our gem corn that we sent out, except for us. So that is that's coming up. But it came up last year. It just never got ears.
Right. And I think that's because we didn't have the corn in the field behind us.
Right. The first year, 2 years ago, we grew sweet corn in our main garden. And gem corn in our neighbor's garden. And they both did amazing. Yeah. But there was corn in the back in the field. last year it was soybeans, and we just decided to do gem corn in our neighbor's garden.
Yeah.
And we got stalks, but they weren't even like amazing stalks, and we never got any ears to save.
Right.
So this year we're just doing gem corn in the main garden,
Mm-hmm.
and the farmer has corn coming up
Right.
this year. So,
And I mean, we can use that for popcorn. We can
Yeah.
save seeds. We can do decorations.
yeah, I mean,
So
I'm picky with my sweet corn, and while the sweet corn we grew was edible,
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather just go spend $5
and get
a
the
dozen, and where I
The
know
once or twice a year
Yes.
we eat it.
yes, the places I know that are good,
Yep.
yeah, go buy a whole bunch and can it up again and eat
Exactly.
it.
And you are part of a gardening group too.
Yes, I joined a local like farmer. I mean, she's got like a farm stand. She sells her vegetables, but she does a ton for the community. I cannot remember. Her name is Pearl, and I'm looking up the name of her company or her place right now. The Pharmacy Farm Stand
Yeah.
is where she is at in Millingbrook.
Yeah, it's somewhere to the
Millbrook,
south.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll,
But she-
we'll have to share her group or something and
Yeah.
her website.
Yeah,
So
I
you can
can't
go
share the
check it
group.
out.
I mean, you can join, but it's a paid
Yeah.
group.
But she told you that pumpkins last year was a really shitty year.
Yeah, she had mentioned that, if you're growing pumpkins, go for it. Don't worry, because last year was a bad pumpkin year.
Yeah.
And just, keep planting pumpkins. And I'm sitting here going, we had like pumpkins coming out of our gourd.
Yeah. I mean, how many squash / pumpkins did you grow last year?
Yeah, oh my God. Way.
Yeah. And
Way
I mean,
too many.
We probably got 24 pumpkins.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because we haven't bought pumpkins to carve in years.
I know.
And it's
been nice.
awesome. Because I hate spending $30 on a pumpkin.
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of places around here that are really cool to go to. We had one in the area that had by the wheelbarrow full towards the end of the season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that closed.
And they, unfortunately, we're not going to mention any names, but they may have burned a few people in the community, and I think the community kind of noticed that.
I don't know what went on with that, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good deal to get pumpkins, but now
Now we just grow our own. Yeah.
Yeah, and we give them to the animals and decorate the heck out of the house with pumpkins.
Yeah, and the chickens love it. We have them carve their own pumpkin.
Yeah, last year we had them carve their first pumpkin. Yeah,
So.
I love pumpkins.
Yeah.
And I love the gem corn.
Right.
I hung it up all over the place. And then I saved it, and that's what I planted, is still the original gem corn I saved.
Yeah. And we still have a bunch of that left, so it's not quite too late.
It might be a little too late
Yeah.
to plant this
But you
year.
can always get some for next year.
You could.
So
I do have that for sale.
We do sell the packets.
And I even have the pint jars full of gem corn that you could pop for popcorn, and
Yes.
it's delicious.
Yeah, it actually makes
Yeah.
really good popcorn. Well, we've done that a few times. I mean, the girls don't really tell a difference.
Yeah,
I personally like it.
It tastes like popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah, and our girls eat enough popcorn. We could probably
Yes,
just
yeah.
get away with making our own.
Popcorn experts.
So,
Yeah. So we've got a lot of beans, a lot of tomato flowers, the gem corn coming up. We do have pumpkin sprouts coming up now. Eggplant, peppers, zucchini. I have one cucumber plant.
right. And the comfrey is going crazy.
The comfrey is going nuts. The original comfrey plants that I have grown or planted are ginormous.
Yeah.
I think I need to pull out one, and that's what I'm going to freeze dry.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of coming into the asparagus area. But yeah, they got huge.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably 3 feet tall,
Yeah.
I would say.
And probably 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
Like with all the stems coming out. And the
Right.
purple flowers, the hummingbirds
I love those
are
things.
going nuts for those flowers.
Yeah. I mean, I see them 3-4 times a day back
Yeah.
there.
And the bumblebees and the honeybees.
Yeah.
It's
a
neat.
nice plant.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've got that all over the place in shade, in full sun, full shade, and they're all doing amazing.
Yeah.
So, if you want comfrey, I know someone who sells it.
Yep. Yeah, get in. We have one going out tomorrow.
Yep.
That we're going to pull. So we'll get that boxed up tomorrow. And if you want some more, let us know. We will do a crown root box for you.
Yep. And you can order it on Etsy or send us a message. And we take Lightning and Bitcoin.
Yep, the whole 9 yards.
Venmo or PayPal. If you don't want to use Etsy for whatever reason, I don't care.
Yep. It's there. We'll sell it.
Yep.
So get with us and we'll get you guys some comfrey on your property.
Yeah, because I pull it the same day that I bring it to the post office.
Right. Yeah.
So that it's as fresh as it can be. It's all wrapped up in wet paper towels and baggies.
Yep.
And
it does go priority.
Yep.
So it's 2 to 3 days ship time. And we just fill up a small flat rate box for you.
Yep. So. And it comes with a little informational sheet on how to plant it. You cannot do it wrong.
Right. I mean, I think everything we've planted has come up.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it's an awesome plant. I've pulled out a lot of my hostas in the front of the house, and I've replaced them with comfrey because it's so pretty.
Right.
And it doesn't look like a usable plant. It looks like a really pretty leafy plant with these pretty flowers on it.
Yeah.
Just like a hosta. I mean, hostas are usable. We tried eating them. I wouldn't say I would want to survive on them. But
exactly. I mean, they are edible, but they're not that edible.
Yeah. We didn't die from eating our hostas, but I wanted to try it before I pulled them all out in case we really liked them, but we didn't. So.
Yep. So, I mean, we probably got, what would you say, 30 to 40 comfrey plants going right now?
Yeah, at least. Yeah. I mean, because every time I do an order, I plant a couple more somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, stuff has just been going nuts.
Yeah.
And the bin has actually been working out really good.
Yeah. And those are really good. The IBC tote.
Yeah.
And even with the little weeds that the birds must be dropping in there, I mean, it pulls right out because it's so soft.
Mm-hmm. Well, we use high quality.
I should plant carrots in there.
Yeah, you should.
I should.
Give that a shot.
Because that'd probably help even more with the soil.
Yeah. Yeah. Or we'll have to toss some those radishes.
I think it's so soft. I don't even think it needs that.
Yeah,
but I
that's
can't.
True.
I planted carrots and they're not coming up, and I don't know why. Because I used to do really good with carrots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked a little bit about prepping the garden too with that broad fork, and that's really the first year that we used it.
This is the first year. Well, we used it. No, we used a little bit of the rototiller last year.
Yeah, we used the rototiller and we borrowed a friend's broad fork, but this is the first year we've actually used our broad fork.
Yeah, so we have some work to do with it. We have some prepping that we got to do with the garden this year to soften up the soil a little bit more, add peat moss, and do the daikon radish.
Yeah.
Just to make it less...
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And honestly, we will never be organic because of where we are.
Yeah, I'm not.
So I'm never going to claim it, and we're just going to use stuff that's going to work.
Well, I mean, I liked how it looked when we used to use the rototiller, because it looked like soft, like how it's supposed to, quote-unquote, look.
Right.
But I also like with the broad fork, doing it real slow and seeing all the worms and bugs come up and not just rototill them into the dirt.
Yeah. And it's a workout. I mean,
it is.
You have to be careful because you will put that broad fork through your foot if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Which I have done.
Well, not through your foot.
Not through my foot, but through the toe of my boot.
Yeah, so it's a nice, beginning of the garden season to get out there and use that.
Yep. Neighbor's got some of his stuff in too that's looking pretty good over there. We tossed a couple tomato plants in there for him.
Yeah.
And then the girls got their tomato plants that they're going to take care of.
Yeah.
Which has turned into Mommy's tomato plants that she's taking care of.
Yeah, which I don't think it's even gotten watered today.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Because the other thing is we are going through, I don't even know if it's a drought yet. I I haven't seen anything official.
No, it's not official, but
We haven't gotten rain.
Yeah.
Substantial rain since probably April.
Yeah. And we were behind the 8 ball getting the rain barrels hooked up.
Yeah, but you don't think that it's just not ever going to rain again.
Right. I mean, usually we get dumped on 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and you can't do it too early because then there's that one freeze and then it'll crack and then...
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we devised a plan. We have a 40 by 48 Harbor Freight trailer that we put a 55-gallon drum on. And we took that over down to the neighbor's pond. And with our inline pump from Harbor Freight that we use quite frequently, that gives us house pressure off of a rain barrel, we dumped the inlet into the pond and sucked up pond water to go into the rain barrel, and that's what we've been watering the garden with.
And probably tadpoles.
Oh, well. I mean, it is what it is. Yep. It's more fertilizer.
Yep. They say they use fish guts. So
right, exactly.
Just using tadpoles.
And we did get some fish emulsion stuff that we're trying out, which is pretty cool. We top dressed a couple of the plants with that.
Yeah. And just to add something else to it.
Yeah, see what we get with that. So far, it's been doing pretty good. So, but yeah, it's coming together and it's taking off.
Yeah, the pond is really nice. I mean, just to be able to take the pressure off of using our city water, which is not cheap. It's not the most expensive we've paid, but it's not cheap.
Right.
So it's kind of nice.
It's very heavily chlorinated.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we've had a Berkey now over a year.
Yeah.
And when I fill the container from the tap, I feel like I'm in a swimming pool.
Yeah, it smells like a swimming pool.
Yeah.
But,
so we don't use that water a lot.
Right. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have watered with it. It works.
Yeah, it doesn't kill anything. Yeah.
But it may not be the best stuff in the world, but I have noticed that things have taken off with the pond water over the past week.
Yeah.
So half of me wants to set up a drip irrigation system just off the pond if the neighbor would let us, but
yeah, that'd be a long hose.
Hey,
going uphill.
Hook it up with a sump pump for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
we get it figured out. Get a couple 1,000-gallon per hour thing and set it up, and that'd work.
Yeah.
Put it on a 15-20 minute timer.
Yeah, well, have fun with that.
Yeah. It's what I initially wanted to do with the rain barrel, but
I know. It's one of those things.
Yep. Digging that in across the yard just to get it so we wouldn't run it over with the mower.
Yeah.
But
it's working though.
Yeah. It's fun to play with this stuff. We're lucky to have the rain barrels. We have 325, 350 gallons worth of rain collection here.
Yeah, when it rains.
We're supposed to get rain this weekend, so we're gonna probably hook up the small rain barrel again on Friday.
Yeah.
So we actually can start filling those up. If we get an inch, I would say that 275-gallon one will fill up all the way, or at least 3/4 of the way.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And then it's supposed to rain all next week, on and off.
Oh, is it?
So that'd be kind of nice to get that filled up. So we have it figured out. We have 50 gallons lasts us about 3 days.
Yeah.
For doing our 55-gallon drums, about 3 days. Mm-hmm. So we'll have 275. So there's 15 days worth of rain.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
Yeah. So
that would be awesome. And then fill up that 55-gallon again off of rainwater, and there'll be another 3 days there.
Yep.
So that's a potential 18 days worth of water for the garden.
Yeah, and then if it rains, it
keeps
takes off those days. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
But yeah, it's been kind of nice because the garden isn't as heavily planted this year. I kind of picked and chose, stuff that we're actually going to use, and not just have squirrel syndrome of trying to buy every seed that it looks cool.
And jam everything. And it just looks like a hot mess by the end of the year.
Yeah, and we're using the fabric thing, the covers now.
Yep.
We have those all around the peppers, the eggplants, the zucchini, and all the tomatoes. And then everything else is covered with straw, which I think has helped a lot with the water because it holds it longer. And every time I felt under the straw, it was cool and... Or not cool, but like, wet. Yeah. So
obviously it's retaining the moisture and it's not just evaporating off.
Yeah.
Because it's been 90, 95 the past couple days.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't seem hot to some people, but that's kind of hot for us this early in the year.
Yeah, and it wasn't even in June yet.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. We're having fun. The garden's coming together.
Yeah.
So
it's not a total loss.
Exactly. So. We're growing stuff.
Yep.
So, but what else we have going on this week? We had the deer.
The deer, yes.
So we got a phone call last night, Saturday night. So this is we're just give you guys timeline. Neighbor called us. Well, we're right in the middle of dinner eating, I think, and he said, a friend of mine called me. He's got a deer on his property. Well, it's a fawn that is...
Well, first he just asked, hey, do you guys want a baby deer?
Yes. So, I mean, we are that type of people where people call us for that. It would be fun. But we talked it through with him, and we both kind of came to an agreement that we'll help, but it's staying over at his house.
Yeah, I mean, the initial answer was, no, I don't want a baby deer.
So, he showed up about, what did you say, 6 o'clock last night?
Something like that, yeah.
Finally got it back to the house. You spent a long time getting them cleaned up, getting all the blood cleaned up off of them.
Yeah.
Just getting him more presentable, because he was real rough shape.
Yeah.
And I didn't see him from the start.
And then this is when it's kind of nice. We have a basket of medical supplies for the animals.
Yeah.
That we don't use often. I should probably go through and change everything because it's probably it's probably expired. But it was just kind of nice to grab that and walk over and actually have stuff.
Yeah.
That we needed. Right.
We had an antiseptic with Blue Coat.
The Vetracycline or something. I can't remember how it's
And
pronounced.
then we have the Comfrey, and we started kind of cleaning up the wounds and stuff. We had thought that maybe he got hit by a brush hog, because it was a little tiny buck. He was about 3 weeks old. We were thinking maybe he got hit by a brush hog or something. And then after talking to the neighbor where we picked it up, we figured he got tangled up in a barbed wire fence because he was all cut up.
Yeah.
And we just kind of worked our way through it and super dehydrated and just got some formula real quick and a bottle and just started taking them. And he come 8 o'clock, he seemed like he was doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, he kept wagging his tail. He was lifting his head, kind of moving his legs around like he was thinking about getting up.
Yeah. Yep. And then it was time for the girls to go to bed, and we helped the neighbor get him inside in his place. Kind of made a little bed for him to rest, and the neighbor took off for about an hour or so to go run a quick errand. And I went over after about an hour and a half and checked, and he was gone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, just, you got to figure probably heat stroke or blood loss or something.
Yeah, and the girls were upset, but they got to sit and pet a baby deer.
Yeah.
Talk to it, see it, kind of looking at him, and he didn't die by himself in a field.
Right.
In the
or
cold.
Getting eaten by a coyote.
Yeah. I mean, he was comforted and... Yeah.
We did the best we could, but the girls learned a valuable lesson. Not all livestock lives.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun. It was an opportunity that we jumped at, and I think the girls are better off for it.
Yeah.
So, And it's something they will always remember. And
Yeah.
we have photos and video, and they were like super excited to call everybody last night that we have a deer, and I was kind of excited to go, hey, we're gonna do our best to bring this thing back and have a pet deer running around the pond. But it wasn't meant to be. So
Yep, next time.
But yep, that was last night, and then finished up getting the ATVs all worked on. Had a mechanic come over and look at mine, realized that I have some major stuff wrong with the big one. Have some blow by on the pistons. Carbs all gunked up, so we're trying some seafoam now. If not, I'll rip the carb apart and redo that. But we need the ATV to pull the trailer around with the water on it, because that's 550 pounds of water.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing it without that.
Yeah. So
unless we took the truck down.
Right. I mean, we could. It's a standard trailer.
Yeah.
We just probably couldn't get the truck in our yard, in the backyard. There'd be no way to get it out.
Yeah.
So, but it seems to be working. Seafoamed it today. Took it flying up and down the lane, 35, 40 mile an hour, just beating on it. We got the oldest one's ATV running much better today. Found out why she lost brakes. One of the nuts on the axle kind of moved, so I got that fixed, and then got the carburetor cleaned out and adjusted correctly so it no longer leaks fuel, which is a plus. Mm-hmm. We'll see how long that lasts, because I made it as a cheap Chinese quad.
Yeah.
And then the youngest got one from the neighbor, so we now have two 90cc quads.
Yep.
And the other one is gonna need a bunch of work, but Amazon has the parts, and we're gonna start working on it.
Yeah, and we've got time, because she can't even hardly do the hand brakes.
She can't do the brakes. She can do the gas. She was riding around with the oldest today on hers. She sat in front of her and was able to steer and work the gas, and Ashley, our oldest, worked the brake for her, no problem. And then I took our youngest on the big ATV today, and she always rides up front, and she's cheering with me and having fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, always keeping busy.
Yep. So.
And I was just thinking about something else, and now I can't remember. So, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, field day.
Yes, field day. We have field day coming up June 24th and 25th.
Yep.
So for anybody who doesn't know what that is the Amateur Radio Relay League Summer Field Day, where we set up for 24 hours off of emergency power. So we'll do batteries and generators and try and make some contacts.
Yep.
If you want to look for us, we will post probably frequencies that we're on that come field day on our social media.
Okay.
And the call sign for the club is WA9CJN. That's Whiskey Alpha 9 Charlie Juliet November.
Yep, and that'll be at the pond here.
Yep.
So if you're in the area, just get a hold of us. We've got an event that's on our Facebook page that you can find. I'll be sharing it again just as it gets closer.
Yep.
It's just something cool. I mean, even if you're not into ham radio, it's just neat to see. It's neat to be able to just watch how it works, and you're not like in somebody's house, just watching them be on the radio. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we're gonna have ham.
Yep.
That's the kids' request. That it was ridiculous that we didn't have ham at the ham radio field day last year. So
sounds about right.
We will have our famous maple bourbon ham somehow, sandwiches, or I don't even know what we're doing with it, but
yeah, I mean, most of these guys will probably just cut off a piece of ham. And
yeah,
eat it.
It's so good. I mean, you could just eat it straight.
Yeah.
Doesn't need any fancy sides or anything.
No, and we do it all spiral cut. It's a couple hours in the oven, and it turns out real good, nice and crusty.
Yep.
So.
And as always, our Telegram chat.
Yep. Come find us on Telegram. It's t.me/Two Chicks Homestead Podcast, if I remember.
I think so. There's always a link in the bottom.
Yes, there's always a link in the show notes. Jump in. You will see all of this stuff probably a couple days before we talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, it's just it's not super busy. It doesn't take all your time.
Yep.
But it's just a nice, small little community of doers.
Yep. And then we do have a listener driving in from Ohio coming to hang out with us for field day. So be looking forward to that.
And he's still coming even after he talks to us in the chat.
Right.
So
exactly. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much about what we got for this week, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. We will catch you guys next time.
All right. See you on the homestead where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.